phoned them more than he phoned me.
Wow.
And I had Simon as by then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There you go. It was weird.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year.
Oh my gosh.
How
Yes.
cold is it there?
Cold. Well, in comparison to you, it's probably not cold, but you know what I mean.
I was gonna say you must welcome to real winter.
Oh no, we're 0 going down a bit.
Mm.
Sort of
We're
-1.
we're
We're supposed
-14.
we are we're 2 degrees at the moment, 3 degrees. And then overnight we're going to be -2. And by the next Tuesday, it's going to be -5 overnight. And then it's going to
Okay.
start raining. Or is that snow? Oh, it might even be snow we're getting by Tuesday.
Let's see. Here it's gonna be. Oh, it's gonna warm up today. It's gonna be a high of -10.
So that is seriously cold over here if we were -10.
Sunday's gonna be -13. Monday will be -12.
Oh,
Tuesday will be -9. We don't get snow until Wednesday, and it
right.
goes to -4.
So is that during the day or is that overnight? You're
No,
minus.
that's during the day. That's gonna be
Oh.
like the high, and I'd say the high's probably sometime around, by the time the
Mm,
sun warms everything up, it's got to be maybe at this time of year is not like it is in the summer because in the summer we get more daylight. So it usually
yeah,
warms max around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would say this
yeah,
is probably around 1 because it's
yeah.
dark here by, well, you probably have it darker than I do. Probably because you're further. No, maybe not. You're
No,
maybe not further north than I am.
no, I'm not. No, we start getting dark about 4:30.
Yeah. What time is the sunset? Let's see.
Oh, that says it on here, what time the sun sets. Um, 11 minutes past 4 sunset. But the nights are drawing out. Yay!
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes. It shows me the hourly. Yeah, is that the one yours does?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Feels
Like,
like, oh, it feels like -15. It's actually,
gosh.
you know, yeah.
Ours feels like -4.
Well, I have no worries of getting cancer. The UV index is 1.
Oh, have we got a U? We must have. Oh no,
Sunsets. Okay, what did you say your set's at? For what?
11 minutes past 4.
Okay, yes. So I have 4:23. Sunsets at 4:23.
So that's after hours.
Yeah, 12 minutes after.
Ah. Now you're further north, I suppose, because we're winter rather than summer.
Yeah.
Hmm. How bizarre. Okay, there we go. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe. I don't know whether there's something affects her ears when I start talking on the laptop, because it's the same as when I start listening to my Duolingo. She gets all meowy and fussing.
Because she doesn't like the sound of a voice with no
I don't
face. Maybe
know.
she doesn't like the sound of a voice with no face. I'm right here, Phoebe. Can you see me? She's like freaking out now.
Oh, look at there.
Because she's not looking at the camera.
Funny.
So, how was your holiday or your
Yeah.
time with the family?
I spent Christmas Day with Simon and Jessica at their house. Um, and had Christmas dinner there with them. Um, vegetarian Christmas dinner. Pussycat. Sorry. Lovely pussycat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then oops, can't remember what else I did. Oh, the Sunday after Christmas. Jessica and Simon came over to the house in Swindon. My sister came down to the house in Swindon on the Sunday, and I picked her up from the railway station, and we spent the afternoon, evening there, and we got a takeaway, Chinese takeaway. Um, but both Jessica and Simon were sort of feeling a bit full of cold, so they didn't stay late. But I mean, they've also got over an hour and 20 minutes drive. So I then stayed with my sister until late in that evening. We played games and things. Um, and then on New Year's Eve, I went to Simon and Jessica's in Newport for the evening. So I got over there just after 6 o'clock. And Jessica's mother and brother came over and spent the evening with us. And we had a sort of a supper there with them and saw the New Year in with the fireworks on the day. Um, and then I drove home at about 1:30 in the morning, sort of just over an hour's drive. So I wasn't back here till 2:30, really, I guess.
Was there
So
anybody else on the road?
there were actually.
I
Yeah,
figured you would be. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, literally from here, we've got the motorway, the M4, and it like 2 fields down from me that way. So I go that way and pick up the motorway at the first junction, and then it's motorway all the way into Newport, and I literally just get off the motorway, and it's about 5 minutes drive to their house from the end of the motorway. So literally it's 90%, 95% motorway all the
Mm-hmm.
way, which is
Mm-hmm.
quite going down on Christmas Day. It was really windy.
Oh.
And on the motorway, there's the uh Severn Bridge. It's the Prince of Wales Bridge, actually, and it goes across the River Severn. It's quite a long bridge, suspension bridge. And I could feel, and they had a slow speed limit on it, and I could feel the wind on my car. That was a bit hairy, but other than that, you just sort of get on with it, don't you? But so, I guess our weather conditions aren't that bad in comparison to a lot of places. So it
Yeah,
feels
we had
bad
some
for us.
bad windstorm around Christmas Day, and even in
Did you?
Toronto, they had a lot of snow and
Mm,
really, really windy, super windy. And then and it was bad. It was bad. Like I would not have wanted to be out driving on
mm.
I think
Yeah.
that was on the 26th, maybe, not
Okay.
necessarily on Christmas, but on
Day
20, yeah,
after.
a
Yeah.
day after or something.
Boxing Day.
And then it started to warm up and then freezing rain, and I missed it here because here it was really bad. They didn't have
Mm.
snow, they had freezing rain here in
Ooh, not
Montreal.
good. Yeah.
And that was just like horrendous because back in the 1990s, I think it was
Yeah.
1998 or 1999, we had at this time
Mm.
a terrible ice storm. Power was out for a
Oh my God.
number of, like, I at that point I was with another guy and he had kids
All right.
and we had a house together.
Okay.
And so we lived in what's known as the South Shore of Montreal.
Yeah.
And so I had this big house, and the power went out in the whole city, like literally the whole city was out. And some
Whoa.
of the United States, right? Because we give hydroelectric power to the
Yes.
United States.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were out. I had no electricity in my house for over 10 days.
10 days. I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say maybe a
And
couple
you
of
have to
days.
remember it's January and it's minus 14 or 20 out
Whoa.
or something like that. So
Whoa.
a lot of people, if you had a fireplace, thank God, because everybody would be like sleeping in there, trying to like close as many doors and sleep in the living room and do what you could do. But in my house, I didn't have a proper insert yet in my fireplace because we had just moved into our place.
Right.
And the previous people didn't do that. And for fire code stuff, you need to have a proper like thing with doors and
Oh,
whatever, right?
wood burner.
So you don't burn
Oh,
the freaking house down.
right. So a wood, we'd call it a wood burner.
No,
Something.
this is not a word burner. This is actually literally in the fireplace that goes up to the chimney, right up
Oh,
to the chimney, right?
okay. Yeah.
And you need to have what they call an insert. Basically, the insert is a thing it kind of goes in, and then you can add doors to it so that you can close the doors if and when.
Okay.
And you have to have a piece of like stone or slate or
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
comes so many feet out from it so that if sparks fly,
It doesn't catch fire.
right. So that's all part of the quote unquote insert and all this
And
shit.
you didn't have that.
But we didn't have that because we were going to put it in.
Hmm.
And we said, well, we'll spend the money and we'll do that when the timing's right.
Yeah, when we got the money to do
Well, when
it.
we had the money, and of course, then this shit happened. So
Yeah.
we tried to use the fireplace as best we could, but you can't keep it burning 24/7 in something like that. It's quite dangerous.
Yes.
Um, so first of all, the other thing was at some point we said, well, okay, first of all, you got to realize you don't have hot water, right?
Oh, of course. Don't have anything. So no electric, nothing. So
Nothing.
everything is electrical.
Yeah.
Everything is.
So on an up note, I took everything out of my freezer and out of my fridge. And
Mm,
I had a big balcony. I was lucky. We had a family room out the back with sliding doors and a big
yeah.
balcony, like a nice deck.
Yeah.
And the deck was full of like, I don't know how much snow. And I took everything and I just like in the snow.
In the snow.
So if you have milk, put your milk container or whatever, everything was in there.
So the freezer wouldn't have kept it cold.
It would for a few days,
Yeah. But you
then it
didn't know how
starts to
long it was
warm
going to
up,
go. Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay.
And
Yes.
you're going to start to get all kinds of stench in there. So you have to eventually take everything out. So you have to figure out what's in there, what can you eat, and
Yeah.
how can you cook it?
Cook it. Oh. So you don't have any gas. It was all electric.
No, if you have an electrical stove, that doesn't work. And if you have a gas,
Hmm.
I didn't have a gas stove,
Hmm.
right? But I think you
Yeah.
still need an electrical plug because I have a gas stove here and it still plugs into the wall.
Electric.
Yeah,
How strange. What's the electricity
I
for
have no
gas?
idea, but I'm going to look it up after because it's a very good question, Susan. You see, you always provoke these great questions for me to go Googling.
Maybe it's the spark, like a spark plug
Yeah, it
that
could be the thing that makes the spark so that
spark.
when you put the flame to it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so. Good question. Good point, though.
Mm,
Anyway,
that seems odd.
so
Yeah.
then I said, what can we cook and how do you cook it? So soups are easy. Anything like in a can, like a canned soup or whatever, you can put it in a pot. You can rig something over your fireplace. You could potentially cook. It's like going camping a little bit. You have to
Yeah.
get creative. Okay.
Mm,
You can
mm.
maybe we actually had some camping gear because we did camp with the kids. So you could take out one of those little stove things because
Oh,
they
the
work
gas
on
stoves. Yeah.
propane
Yeah. Yeah.
canisters. But here's the other thing. Everybody's going to this, where they can get to and get those propane things like sold out and like, yeah, the whole
Gold dust.
the whole
Gold
town.
dust.
There's no more propane anything there, okay? Because otherwise, too, we also had a barbecue out on the deck. So you can propane, but once the propane's toasted, you're done,
Ah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
And you're not sitting there with an extra spare full propane tank just sitting around. So you don't know how much is in yours.
No. No.
So I also got creative was okay, so I had meat in the fridge or in the freezer. So okay, chop it up, put some oil in a pot,
Yeah.
and you can do fondue.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did that with cheese
Hmm.
and bread and stuff like that.
So did you have candles?
We had to have a lot of candles because, well, at night.
Hmm.
And then you start to, so let's talk about the positive side of that. Not a noise
Yeah.
on,
Silent.
and silent. because
Whoa.
nothing is on. Not even there's a hum in the electrical. You
Yes.
don't realize it, but there's
No.
a hum with the street lights and everything.
Yeah.
And when those are not on, it's completely quiet, dead
And
quiet.
you were in town. You were actually within a built up area.
Yeah, I was
God.
in a residential, very residential neighborhood, so it was whatever. But we had a lot of like so much ice you can't even imagine, like like this thick on the power lines, easy leak 3, 4, 5 inches on the power lines of ice. And it's not like that. You can just go and crack it off. It takes work to do that
Yeah.
because it's still cold outside. It's not like it warmed up to zero and everything melts.
Yeah.
It's like it
Yeah.
was like January 2nd that it happened or the 1st or something like
Wow.
that.
Did the community club together at all, or were you all in isolation?
No, no, no. So they start to you start to do that, but there's like lots of people, like I said, families started to, get
Mm.
together and stuff for people that don't have and don't have fireplaces, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, you also have to have a shower. Like, how do you have a shower? How do you flush your toilet?
Why would you take your clothes off? Sorry.
Right. You don't. You put on as many layers as possible. You take out all the blankets.
Mm.
You try to get into the living room, where the fireplace is.
Did you all
And then,
sleep together?
yeah, yeah. And here's the other thing. It's January. So as I just said to you, it gets dark at 4:23.
Yeah. No telly. No telly.
No telly. No, yeah. No, no,
No
nothing.
phone. No
So
phone.
we lots of candles. No, this was back in 1998. So I'm sure I had one, but not like this. It was a flip phone, I think I had back in 1998.
But it's still a mobile phone rather than a landline.
Yeah, I think it could have been. I'm trying to remember. What did I have back then?
But
I may
it
not
would have
even
run
have
out.
had that. I might have only have had a BlackBerry then. Just
Yeah.
starting to have a BlackBerry. Like, I think it was before, some may even been before, because I think cell phones came out in 2000, 2001.
Different sorts. I mean, the original mobile phones were like bricks, and they were the early 90s,
Those
late
were the
80s.
80s even. Those were the
Yeah.
late 80s, and there were
80s.
these big whopping
Brick.
things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think by 1998, either I just had well, let me see. No, I didn't have I didn't even have a BlackBerry because I was still working at Montreal Trust.
Oh, okay.
So I
I
didn't
think,
have anything. I only had, like, if I was lucky, I had a pager,
yeah.
right? No, I didn't have cell phone, I don't think.
I didn't have my own cell phone, I don't think, at that stage. I might have done. I can remember saying, because Nick was sort of, you need a phone. And I don't want to be that contactable. I will be, I don't put it down now. I mean, it's dreadful. It
Yes, I
used
know.
to be
Isn't it funny
24/7.
how you change?
My gosh, yes, absolutely. But
So
yeah,
the other
wow.
thing was, okay, so you get creative with your cooking, you get creative with what you do with your things.
Mm.
You try to get creative at night because you're not going to bed at 4. So we obviously as many candles as you can get and try to, drive to wherever, and if you haven't, or pick up as many as you can. If first you burn
Yeah.
everything you got and then you start searching because 10 days is a long time.
And you
And
don't know when it's going to end either.
and you
You're
don't
going
know what's
day
going
by
to
day.
end.
You don't
Yes.
know that it's
Well, you
going to.
don't, because unless you have a transistor radio,
Oh my gosh.
how do you know what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah. So did you
Like,
have
you
a
know what it kind of
transistor?
made me feel like? What it must have been like for you guys during the war.
Well, not me personally, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So I can remember
during
asking my
World War
father.
II, when there's bombings going on and
Oh,
shit. Like,
yeah. And they didn't know what was going on. I can remember asking my dad at one stage about how much they knew about the Holocaust and what was going on in Germany, and he said they knew nothing. They knew
Yeah.
nothing until it all came out after the war.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it is amazing.
Yeah.
So, and I
Anyway,
can,
so we didn't know what was going on, right? You couldn't find out like when is it going to be over? I
yeah,
knew that they were starting to get some power back and they were trying to rotate it, but you have to rotate it to different things. Like you got to rotate it to hospitals first. You have
yes,
to rotate it to like whatever. Like first of all, there was no school, forget it. Like the kids, there were nobody was going to school, nobody
no,
was doing anything. But then like grocery stores,
yeah,
not okay. And people that use like, have freezers and fridges too, like them, forget it.
mm.
Gas pumps
Oh,
do not work.
I don't know,
So
because
you had a full tank of gas
oh,
if you were lucky.
in the car.
Yeah, can't pump gas with no electricity.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. So you could use your cars though.
I could use my car for as much gas as I had in it, but
Have.
if your car is
Oh, but
empty, that's
get
it.
some more. To be able to get some more, you couldn't pump the fuel. Got it. Mm.
So you have to be wise about how do I use my car and when do I use my car. So for
Mm.
us, at one point, we said,
Mm.
well, it's already so many days. Like, what are we going to do? Like, maybe we should leave, get in the car, leave, and drive to
Somewhere where there
Toronto
is.
to
Yeah.
Ontario because they had power. It's the province of
Yeah.
Quebec that was, almost completely not at least the city of Montreal and how much good part of the eastern townships and towards
Yeah.
the west. And then we said, well, we're going to do that. And then when we decided we're going to do that, they told us we can't go over the Champlain Bridge because there's way too much ice. And the bridge is what I had to get to the main island to get to Ontario. I couldn't
You
go
weren't allowed
from,
to leave.
I was living on what's known as the South Shore, right? Because Montreal
Yeah.
is an island and it's in the middle of the St. Lawrence. And you have, in order to get to whatever, to the Ontario, right?
Yeah.
You have to be on the main island because that's where the highway is that connects the 401, and
Yeah.
you have to get onto the island. So I'm on off the island, which means I need to take any bridges, and all the bridges were closed because the
Because
amount
of
of
the ice,
ice that was on the bridges.
which would any weight onto that would have compromised the bridge. Whoa. So you were stuck. So was the river frozen?
River was very frozen. Yeah, for
Yeah.
the first time in a long time, which is very rare because
Mm.
especially around the island of Montreal, it's never frozen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very, very frozen. And yeah, so then we couldn't go. So we started to argue a little, let's say, just a little, because you get a bit stressed. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, then we're getting more stressed because inside the house, you don't want your pipes to burst
Gosh, no.
because it's getting colder in the house. By 10 days, it was -5 inside
Inside.
my house.
Oh. How old were the children?
That's an excellent question. They were in there, I'm gonna say early, like maybe 13 and maybe 11.
Okay, so just two. So it wasn't like they were little people who didn't really understand what was going on.
No, but
Still
it was
cold.
it was stressful nonetheless because they want to do things and you can't do anything with them that. So you have
Yeah.
to like kind of take them back to when they are little. Like you got to sit there and say, okay, get the candles out and bring a board game up. Thank God we had board games and stuff or
Yes. Yeah.
cards or I don't know, like things like that, right?
Mm, mm.
Has not it was like you have to be very very creative, and like I said, then you're sitting there going, when's this gonna end, when's this gonna end, when's this gonna end, and then you got to say to yourself, I have to have a shower. So at one point they were doing giving electricity to some schools where you could then, for people who had nothing, like like today, I was thinking to myself, if we have another snow ice storm this year, I
Mm.
got to get the heck out of here
Yeah.
because there's no way,
Yeah.
right? And I'll have to go to like a shelter kind of place,
Right.
right? And
What about a swimming pool? Because they have showers in swimming
well, so
pools.
this is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. This they did that at a school because that's where they have community swimming pools and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that, or generally in like high school or something. So then
Yeah.
at least we went there to use the girls' shower, like the showers, right, or whatever
Mm.
the showers that they use. Because if you have a pool, they make you go into the shower at school, right? So,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
I mean that's what we did.
So how long did you live with the children? Were you sort of like their stepmom?
Yeah. So I dated him for oh my God, how many years? I think we were together for 7 years, maybe 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were with the children for that
But
length. Were they
we
permanently?
didn't live together that long. So we
Oh,
dated
okay.
for a few years.
Yeah.
Then he wanted to buy a house together, and I was very reluctant.
Right. Yes.
And then we did buy the house together eventually, and then we moved in. And then, of course, a year later or 2 years later, he comes to me and he says, I don't love you anymore. Get out of the house. Get out of the house because I have two kids and you don't.
But you'd already paid half of it.
We'll save
Did you?
that for another episode.
Yeah. So did you have a relationship with the children or and you still see are they still part of your life?
Not now, but what was very interesting is after many, many years of being apart,
Hmm.
I'm going to say about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago,
Right. Quite a
on
long time
Mother's
then.
Day, I got this
Yeah.
really nice little message from them saying, we just wanted to say thank you and say, wish you a happy Mother's Day because to us, you were a mother. And I was really like taken aback by that.
Oh, that's really quite, yeah. Shows how they felt about you.
Yeah, it really was, it surprised me. It was very, very nice.
Did you respond or did you
Yes,
not?
I did. I
Yeah.
said, yeah, I did respond and say, that it was my pleasure to be, there for them when they needed me.
Well, I don't know, because Simon sends the cards that Simon chooses, and he chooses the words. And I always get a card from him with
Yeah,
special
that's
words
nice.
in it.
That's very nice. Yeah.
That's who he is and how
Yeah.
he was
Yeah. I think Noel
yeah.
does that too because he sends me cards.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
was sending cards, and I was like, we have this thing called the digital age. I said, you could send me like a card. And he's like, no, no, I like real cards.
Cards. Yeah, no,
And
I
I'm
get
like,
that.
okay, honey, that's great. So we send it on Christmas or on Valentine's or the birthday cards, right? But now it's funny because I started this thing that, every 2 months because I don't see him as often. I send him like a card, like maybe once every couple months. So he's
What?
getting a lot to the point where he even forgot to send, he hasn't sent me cards in the last few years. And I'm like, hello, I started this because you made me.
Yeah, he
And
was doing
now
it.
he's dropped off.
Okay.
Friggin' men.
Yeah. Yeah. But did you get half of that house back? Did he pay you out or did you walk away from it?
I lost a lot.
Hmm. But your name was on the deeds?
What's that?
Was your name was on the deeds? So you should have got half of it. You should have fought for it.
Let me put it to you this way. It was 4 against 1.
For.
Him, his two kids, and his mother.
Oh, his mother. What was her mother? His mother got to do with
She's
it.
the real estate. She was a real estate agent.
That reminds me of when my now ex moved into our first house. He already had a an apartment when I met him, and we sold that and bought a house, and his mother was sort of, oh, I'll come round and organize your cupboards for you. No, no, because Nick was sort of saying, oh, mum and dad are coming over to do X, Y, Z. No, they'll come to visit, but they're not coming to mess around with my kitchen or whatever, because his dad was saying, oh, we'll put a mirror up on the wall for you, or we'll do this, that, and the other. No, do you know what I mean? And it was sort of,
Yes, absolutely.
excuse me.
Absolutely. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, that was, yeah. I mean, my parents would have done things if I'd asked them, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't have imposed to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas his
Yeah.
parents were,
Yeah.
we're going to do this, that, and the other. In fact, Nick actually worked shift work. So he did like days, evenings, and nights. I think that's the way it round it was. Um, and he said, oh, my parents are going to be coming over every Tuesday, except when I'm on nights or days or something. I don't know. And no, they're not. No, 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 no. We're not going to get into that habit because the one day you say, sorry, it's not convenient, that's when they get upset. If they start getting into a pattern of, oh, we're over there every Tuesday. What? No
Yeah.
chance.
Exactly.
Excuse me. I
Yeah.
don't need them over here every Tuesday.
Yeah. Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, they can
Listen,
come
if you
when they
want
like
to
to.
because you have a good relationship with them, that's a different story. But
Yeah,
it has to be when you want, like when you
yeah,
decide it's something that, it's okay to
yeah.
have them. Like not, it shouldn't be an automatic, oh, listen, my mother's coming up here. I don't know, men. That's another thing about men.
Oh,
They don't get that. I don't know what it is. They don't like, why?
yeah,
What's wrong? Why? I don't understand. Yeah, you really
absolutely.
don't
It does.
understand.
When I first met him, he went to visit his parents by obligation, probably 2 or 3 times a week. But it was an obligation for him. And that actually carried on for most of his, well, I think, well, they're dead now, so hey. But when we first got together, he then started visiting my parents without me. I was doing something else. He'd go and visit my parents. My mum said to him one day, said, really nice to see you, but we would like to see Susan sometimes. But he did that because he thought he should, by
Yeah,
obligation.
yeah,
I saw my parents saw me when I wanted something or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But that was acceptable. Whereas if Nick was late going to see his parents, late as in missed a day or two, it would literally, they would say, oh, hello, stranger. We haven't seen you in a while. That was the attitude. Whereas my parents were, oh, hi, how are you? Sort of thing.
Hmm.
Even if they hadn't seen me for a couple of weeks, they were pleased to see me. But
Yeah,
his parents were always, oh, we haven't seen you. Where have you been? Sort of thing.
yeah, yeah.
And that made it worse because he felt obliged. In fact, when he went to live in North Carolina for 2 years, he phoned them more than he phoned me.
Wow.
And I had Simon as by then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There you go. He was weird. But yeah. Yeah. But, hey ho. We
That's
can't all
great.
be perfect like what we are.
No, yeah, exactly. We set the standard.
We do. If he did phone me, it would I guess probably I didn't miss him. Um, I would literally say to him, what do you want?
Yes,
It wouldn't be,
exactly. What do you
hi
want?
dear, what do you want? What do you want? And I guess that didn't help. But no, we were quite glad when he went, I guess. Well, certainly when he went, ultimately, when he left. Um, he sat here and said, I want a divorce. And I laughed and went, there's the door.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah, yeah,
And that was that. I actually said to him, I think the reason that we stayed together so long, because we were together for 25 years,
yeah,
um, was because he actually wasn't ever here because he worked away. Like I just said, he lived in North Carolina for 2 years.
yeah.
Um, he would travel the world. He had an office in Houston, Texas, an office in Warwickshire in the UK, and an office in Jakarta. And he would literally fly around the world to each of these. And I very rarely saw him. And Simon and I just got on with living. A friend of mine coined the phrase a married single mother
Mm,
because I was married,
yeah.
but Simon and I were did our own thing,
And
you
you're
know.
up to all alone. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's why he never really had a good relationship with Simon because he just wasn't ever there. And even when he was there, it
Yeah.
was all about him anyway. It was all
Yeah.
about him. So
Absolutely.
he had to go and visit his parents.
Well, I
Hey
kind
ho.
of wish I didn't care when it happened to me with that guy because
Mm,
like I feel like he sucked too many years of my life away
yeah.
because it had hurt me so much because I just didn't see it coming. And I
Mm,
was like, what are you talking about? Like, do you even have a clue? Like, I knew he didn't even really understand what love was. Like, he
yeah.
didn't really
You
even
haven't
know
had
what
it.
it was because he was screwed up from his own
Mm,
whatever situation, right?
yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, I'm sure, okay, I'm sure he's happy now and whatever, but, you know,
Did he get married again?
he
Or
lived
did he
with
move
somebody, he's
again?
living with somebody, and he's been living with somebody ever since, like, I think since pretty much we broke up.
So
Um,
20 plus years.
20 years ago, at least 20, 25 years ago now, or maybe 24 years ago or something like that. But
Yeah.
and I've met her and she's lovely. I'm assuming he claims he's in love with her if he knows what that means. But again, I don't know but if that's what she's happy with, whatever he can give you her in the way he can give it to her, fantastic. Way I'm super glad we're not together because I realized I wouldn't have had all these adventures that I've had since.
Yeah.
That's for
Yes.
sure. And that's where I needed to go. So again, the universe works in strange and mysterious ways.
For 25 years, um, there's things that I resent from being with him. He was an only child and he really didn't have much relationship with his family, whereas um, I had a relationship with my family, but that seemed to peter out. And
Yeah,
especially when we bought the house in France,
yeah,
it was intent that we went to France for Christmas.
yeah. Instead of
Uh,
going to your family or something. Yeah,
exactly. And I
yeah.
do resent that we
Yeah.
missed probably the last 3 or 4 years of my family. The one thing I can say for him, I will say one thing in his favor. He worked hard. He was a good earner. He earned the money and he supported us, which enabled me to do my own thing, to be fair, and to home educate Simon, and buy the field, etc. So
Hallelujah.
yeah, he had one saving grace. Good earner, good earner.